Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Wes, and we are talking. I don't know what we're talking. We're doing something different today. We're doing Unearthed Arcana. Last time I tried to do a review of Unearthed Arcana, there was a recording issue. So let's hope I don't have one today. All right, so let's get into it. First thing we have is our subclasses. And so let's start off. Uh, so this is Wizards of the Coast, D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, Unearthed Arcana. For those of you who don't know, this is playtest material. They send this out to people. I mean, I feel like most of you guys know if this is D&D YouTube, you're obsessed. You know what the Unearthed Arcana is. Or not. Well, anyway, it's like playtest. They send it out. You can have a chance to review, play it, give them feedback, and they'll work on it. Um, so first up, we have Uh, apocalypse themed subclasses. Before I get into it, I forget who said it, but they were talking about Hollywood is focusing too much on like apocalypse and post-apocalyptic stuff, and they should reintroduce more hope in movies. And I kind of agree with that. But anyway, circle of preservation. Okay. There might be some hope after all. Let's actually read what this says: safeguard nature and heal the world. Druids of the Circle of Preservation work tirelessly to conserve nature resources and restore places once ruined by the greed and exploitation. Though the combination of conservation and restorative magic, druids of this order shield and spread life across the land. The most powerful members of this order can return vitality to barren fields, transforming wastelands into thriving wilderness. There's hope! I wasn't expecting it, guys, but there it is. There's hope. Um, So that was a description. Let's actually get into the subclass. So we have their circle spells. They get blessed, lesser restoration, protection from poison, sanctuary, beacon of hope, plant growth, aura of life, death ward, greater restoration, and hollow. I mean, you don't have to prepare lesser restoration, which is great. Protection from poison. Being poisoned sucks because you get disadvantage on everything. Um, but I've never seen anyone cast this spell. Sanctuary, I have used it myself. Beacon of Hope, Plant Growth, Aura of Life, Death were all pretty good. So, okay, their other third level feature, Preserved Land. As a bonus action, you can expend use of your wild shape, create a 15-foot uh, cube oriented and point. This lasts for 1 minute or until you're incapacitated. Uh, or are more than 100 feet from the cube, 120 feet from the cube, or die. Whenever a creature, including you, ends their turn there, you can grant the creature one of the following benefits. Okay, I guess it's like, I just need to know, can you move this? Because if you can move it, then you're like the shepherd druid. We'll find out. 1d4 temporary hit points plus your druid level, and this is when the creature ends their turn there. Um, you end one effect on the creature, causing it to have been frightened or poisoned condition. Okay, I said, um, I said poison was bad, and yeah, poison is bad. However, being frightened also really sucks, especially when you're like a melee character. You can't get closer to the person you're trying to hit. Just happened to me yesterday in my Curse of Strahd game. I'm like, great. Oh, I forgot. I could have just cast Ray of Frost on them. But I forget I have that spell all the time. So yeah, being frightened also sucks. So just being able to end that is pretty good. Then in addition, non-magical vegetation, sprouts. Oh, that's cool. As a bonus action on subsequent turns, you can move it up to 30 feet to an area on the ground within 120 feet of yourself. Okay, so you can move it. It's like the Yeah, it's sort of like the shepherd, except you don't get, like a I forget what the third option of the shepherd is. Anyway, no, the shepherd just has one option. I'm thinking of the stars druid? No, the shepherd does have 3. It's been a while since I looked at druid. Standard druid. Alright, anyway, level 3 study of the preservation. Your studies have improved in understanding fungal casting. When you cast a druid spell, you can cast it without material component, except the material components are consumed by the spell. Okay, yeah. Additionally, when you cast a druid spell that requires material, there's a 10% chance that it's okay. You also gain proficiency with the artisan tool of your choice. Flavor. Let's continue on. Improvised preservation at level 6. You becomes more powerful in the following ways. While inside the cube, preserve land, your allies getting bonus con saves equal to your wisdom. That's really good. Overpowered. Well, not overpowered, but depending on who your allies are, my paladin can barely fail a save because they started as a sorcerer first. Um, so they have with their aura of protection a plus 11 or level 10. So they have a plus 11 to their con saves. Adding extra, this would just be so funny. um, okay, reflect desecration. Reflect desecrators. Whenever a cube is created by your preserved land, an enemy enters it, they must take a wisdom save or take 2d10 radiant damage, and their speed is halved until the end of its next turn. Pretty good. Pretty good. Just being able to slow and oh wait, what else? Oh, that's level 10. Sorry. Okay. They can an enemy makes their save only once per turn. 10, you cast you can cast lesser or greater restoration without expending a spell slot, requiring requiring spell components. You can cast this feature wisdom modifier times per day. You gain them all back on long rest. That's pretty good. Um, lesser restoration. Well, I mean, yeah, you don't want to waste your cube effects outside of combat, so lesser restoration is great to have. And then sacrosanct land. Uh, your cube increases to 30 feet. In addition, served by your land is hit by an attack roll. You can use a reaction to have the so you can anytime when your allies in the cube takes damage, you can just use your reaction like resistance. That's pretty good. Um oh, okay. But that's the druid. So all right. I think that that druid's pretty good. The circle of preservation. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys in on something. Since I started my YouTube, I felt like um I've been editing a lot. 3 videos a week is a lot. And so as a photographer, I'm like, I feel like my creative niche is kind of fulfilled here. I've been thinking about going back to school for preservation. Um, despite all my fitness books here, that was like past life. So I really like the circle preservation. Anyway, let's move on to our next thing, which is the fighter. All right. Up next, we have our gladiator fighter. You're a pit fighter. It's the end of Apocalypse Mad Max. All right. Use your charisma modifier. You have a number of uses of this brutality equal to your charisma modifier and regain 1 long short rest. Your brutality, when you hit a creature with a melee weapon attack, you can activate one of the following features: bleed. You give them sap, and they take extra damage to equal to your charisma modifier. Bluff. It's Vex, but then you have advantage on the next saving throw you make before the end of your next scene. Tumble. It's topple, and they can't take an action or a bonus action next turn. Then I don't really like that all these are just you gain another weapon mastery property on top of the one you're already using. with an additional effect. It could have just been, here's the additional effect. I feel like adding in the weapon mastery properties are just like kind of lazy. Anyway, combat theatrics. Whenever you make on athletics or acrobatics, you can add your charisma. You also gain proficiency in one of the following: acrobatics, athletics, deception, intimidation, or performance. At level 7, you gain flourish parry, which is you can add as a reaction. You add your charisma modifier to your AC. The cool part is the flourish and counterattack. If this causes the attack to miss, as part of that same reaction, you can retaliate, making a weapon attack against them. And you can add one of your brutality effects without expending a use of it. So if you're a fighter with like a level 2 charisma and somebody hits you, you can and you do this, or this is at level 7. So you could have, if you start with like a 16 in both for charisma and dexterity or strength, you could, and a 16 in constitution if you wanted to. Just dump in wisdom and either dex or strength in that situation. At level 4, you could have one of those to 18. At level 6, you could have another one to 18. So you could have 4 uses of this by this level, and then just regain another one whenever you make this counter, or yeah. So that's not that bad. Then we have Boulder Brutalities. Your cleave does extra damage now. When you use Rive, you activate the cleave mastery. That's what it does, and it does extra damage. Rush, you activate the push property, and you can move without provoking opportunity attacks. And then Stagger, you activate the slow property, and they have disadvantage on saving throws. Stagger's probably my favorite one of those 3. Of the original 3, probably Bleed or Stumble. Most likely Stumble, I think. Then at level 18, you gain Mutilate. Okay, somebody's been watching Solo Leveling, and that's going to give you main. Both features, actually. Main, your target can only make 1 attack. Oh, they have to make a saving throw against this, sorry. But yeah, and the save is based on your charisma, not like your dex or strength. So they can only make 1 attack, and their AC is reduced by 2. And those last until the target regains hit points. So that's the fighter. It's not that brutal. It's just added more weapon masteries, which like I said, I feel like that's kind of lazy. Could have done way more stuff with this fighter. And it's only melee weapon attacks, so you can't unarmed strike brutal someone. You can't, I'm thinking pit fighter. I'm thinking very brutal, like gorish. I don't want to go into too much details, but I think Grog Campaign 1, Critical Role, Pit Fighting, like some of his stuff that he, like how he would describe stuff. You can't do any of that. You can't even throw a spear or to like impale someone. So, it's okay. Next up, we have our Defiled Sorcerer. This is okay. So I'm just gonna get right into it. Defile and Empower. When you cast a spell and deal damage, you can roll up to half of the spell's level rounded up of your hit dice and add that to 1 roll of the spell. So if you're casting Scorching Ray, it's only going to be 1 of those Scorching Rays. Same thing with like 1 of your magic missiles. You can only add the damage to 1. So not bad, but I hate that feature of you can only add it to 1. Especially if I'm expending like a 3rd level spell and rolling multiple hit dice, then I would like to be able to apply 1 to each roll of that. but it doesn't let you do that. And then you have lifesteal. Instead of expending some of your hit dice, you can possibly expend the use of someone else's. They just have to make a con save, and if they're immune to exhaustion, then this has no effect on them. So it wouldn't work against constructs, which kind of makes sense because what life is there to steal? And probably won't work on undead depending on which undead they are. Low level undead might still work on. And once you use this on another creature, you can't use it against them again, or until you finish a long rest, or until you regain, or you expend 3 sorcery points. Your spells are thematic. However, a lot of them require you to get into like melee combat with an enemy, or force them to make a saving throw. But a lot of these are con saves, which we know aren't the best saves to target. But you are a sorcerer, so you have innate sorcery, which means you can make your spell save DC higher. And then we have Corrupted Caster, Defiler's Ward. Oh, I like the synergy of this because you're going to be doing this anyway, converting sorcery points into spell slots. And now when you do it, depending what level of spell slot you create, you roll a number of d6s equal to that, and you gain temporary hit points. On top of, when a creature hits you while you have these temporary hit points, they take either poison or necrotic damage, and you ignore resistance to that. You ignore resistance to poison or necrotic damage. So it's like Arm of Agathis, but not as powerful because it's only doing charisma modifier damage, which is, I guess, how they're making it okay for you to get in melee combat, but still don't want to be in there. Okay, then we have Withering Aura, 15-foot emanation around you. Pretty small, but oh, and this activates while your innate sorcery is active. When a creature hit, so you can use your reaction to reduce damage. Actually, you don't have to use your reaction. This just happens. This is pretty good. When you get hit, you can reduce the damage equal to your charisma modifier. You're reducing 5 points of damage every time you get hit, and if you have temporary hit points going up, but it's not a static number of temporary hit points, D6s. I prefer if it was like a static number. Like a good number, not like proficiency bonus number or charisma modifier number. And then you have Essence Siphon. When an enemy dies within your aura, you regain 1d4 sorcery points, which is a really good feature, especially because like when you're out of uses of your innate sorcery, you can, I believe, use sorcery points to gain it back. So gaining sorcery points just by activating my innate sorcery is really good. Well, something has to die. Sorry. And I have to be within 15 feet of them. You're not that survivable still. I don't think you're that survivable. Anyway, at level 18, you gain immunity to poison and exhaustion, and your aura is 30 feet now. Okay, that's not that bad. Our last and final subclass is the Sorcerer King Patron Warlock. Your patron is a party member, and funnily enough, you could make that sorcerer what was the magic sorcerer magic one where you're it's the magic bloodline one, whatever. The sorcerer who's has a wizard as their ancestor, which is just how sorcery works normally. Anyway, so if you had like an elf character and they were like 300, their great grandchild could be the sorcerer, and that sorcerer could also be the patron of your warlock. Okay, seriously though, right at level 3, we gain psionic casting. We know how psionics work in D&D, especially because we already had the Great Old One and quite a few other psionic classes. You're gonna gain though, as part of your Sorcerer King spells, Command, Compel Duel, Hold Person, Mind Spike, Raffle Smite, Fear, Sending, Compulsion, Staggering Smite, and Dominate Person. Oh, and Synaptic Static. Synaptic Static, great. Dominate Person, great. Hold Person, great. Fear, even Compulsion are all good concentration spells for a Warlock to be focused on, since you don't have that many spell slots. Command, Raffle Smite, Mind Spike, Staggering Smite, don't really know about. I mean, Raffle Smite is something you concentrate on too, because does it still provide the fear effect? Stagger Smite stuns them. Sending, well, if you saw Pack Tactics video on Dragon Delve's adventure, one of them was completely broken in a good way by Sending. So Sending is a great spot to have in your back pocket. I love Synaptic Static as well as a good AoE opener. Cool thing though is Tyrant Herald. You gain proficiency in Intimidation expertise if you already have it. But this is the cool part. Voice of Authority. That command spell that you get, you can cast it as a bonus action. And you can do this a number of times equal to your Charisma modifier without expending a spell slot. So, you get this at level 3. Your Charisma 16. You have three uses of this. You have 2 spell slots normally. You can cast 5 spells on a short rest as a Warlock now. But you would only gain 2 spell slots back on a short rest. These are on a long rest, but still, that's a pretty good amount for a Warlock to have. If your species gave you extra spells, and if your background gave you extra spells, you're in a good spot. You're also going to gain at level 6 Decisive Edict. All right. When you cast a spell using Pack Magic spell slot, you can cause a profound power to erupt in a 30-foot emanation. Each creature of your choice, you can choose one of the following effects. All right. Creature has advantage on attack rolls. Okay, you can either marshal like an ally or oppress an enemy. Creature must succeed a wisdom save or be frightened until the end of its next turn. Nice. And unfortunately, it is one or the other, and it applies to all. So it's either all creatures can have advantage on attack rolls, or all creatures are frightened. Well, I mean, if you're a Blade Lock, you have your Raffle Smite, you might be going in there, right? This is level 6. You might even have Eldritch Smite. Yeah, not bad. Once you use this feature, you can't use it until you finish a long or short rest. Or you regain use when you use your Magical Cutting. Yes! Love features like that. I forgot to mention the Fighter got a bunch of its uses back when it used its second wind, or if it used its action surge in some cases. Anyway, Vindictive Rebuke. You learn to love. No, I'm joking. Alright, when an enemy hits you, you can use your reaction roll to force an enemy to reroll, and it's Silvery Barbs. It's sort of like Silvery Barbs, except they don't have to take the lower number. This reaction into a miss. Okay, and if this causes the attack to miss, they take psychic damage equal to your Warlock level, so 10 points of psychic damage. You can do this you can take this reaction a number of times equal to your charisma modifier. Sorry, I don't know why I said wisdom. Once per long, or until you gain. Why can't I speak? Sorry. You regain expended uses when you finish a long rest. Yeah. Force. Oh, this is so good. Nat 20. Your DM yells Nat 20. I'm like, Vindictive Rebuke. Do you have to know before? Oh no, it says when it hits you. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, this is anti-crits. Just that's pretty good. Then we have finally level 14. what's it say? Finally, level 14. Whenever you cast command, you can target one additional creature. A creature frightened by you automatically fails its save. Oh, so you press a group of enemies, and then you can just bonus action command them. They're automatically gonna fail if they're frightened from you. That's really good synergy, and I can see why you're a Tyrant's Herald. I like it. So that's all of the subclasses, guys. And well, there's only one that preaches hope, which is the Druid. The Fighter's a little bland in my book, and I like the Sorcerer and the Warlock a lot. Well, let me know what you guys think about this. If you want to see me cover more on Unearthed Arcana or not, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Until next time, I've been West Where's the Fun. Thank you and have a good one. Bye.